Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And there's a fly in here, too, apparently.
It's been here the whole time.
I know.
Just now realizing that. Are you irritated because we have to talk AEW? Is that why you
No, look, Larson, I'm an admitted E-drone.
You are. It's been firm, well established.
But, maybe that fly is around here because it likes to hover near shit. No, we're going to talk about AEW. That's rude. I like AEW. I think they're great. We're going to talk about championship reigns today. We did a video recently where we talked about the current reigns of the WWE championships. And so we're going to, and we graded them. So we're going to grade the current AEW championship reigns, all 15 titles in AEW.
Well, we're not doing the Ring of Honor one, so it's not 15. I think it's...
I know. That's like not far off from the actual number when you include Ring of Honor.
I know. I think 8's the number.
8 is the number,
because
correct.
we're including a very special championship. I'll talk at the end.
Man,
perhaps the most
top title,
prestigious title, but
based on who holds it, it's top title.
Absolutely. Let's start with the International.
Okay, sure.
Championship currently held by Orange Cassidy. Mm-hmm. I know he just got it back. Steve, what did you give this reign?
So, okay, I'm sort of including from the period he lost it.
Yeah.
Through him getting it back. And I understand him getting it back was like, an audible because Jon Moxley got messed up in that match with What's-His-Face. And then they just put it on Orange Cassidy. But they've actually had a story going on.
Yeah.
Where Orange Cassidy's now coveting the title, more than he did before. He realized what he lost. I'm giving his reign a B because I think... he just got it back, but the entire arc of him getting it back, and now there's actually a story with him having it, I think is pretty solid. It's kind of too soon to give it anything more than that, but I gave it a B.
Yeah, I gave it a B- for a lot of reasons. I thought his initial run with the international title was really good.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's a solid A-, maybe even A work.
Yeah.
It's too soon to give him, those kind of marks.
Yeah, right.
Given the tumultuous nature of the international title of late, where due to circumstance it's been passed around a little bit. I do like that they're setting up immediately a story with him. It kind of felt like there was a couple story beats that maybe could have and should have happened before him getting that title back, but fate intervened. He's champion. Who knows how long? They already had an interaction between him and Mox at Battle of the Belts on Saturday. If he has another really long, interesting reign, this grade will go up. But right now, I really can't give it any more than a B or B-. So I'll say B-.
All right. Sounds good. Next up, let's go with the TNT title.
All right.
The Christian title. Yeah. I think probably it's not a surprise. I'm going to hazard a guess because I don't know what your grades are. I'm going to hazard a guess that this is probably the top graded title that we've got going. Well, with one exception. But Christian has been doing phenomenal work with the title. I went first last time. What did you give this reign?
So I'm grading this reign based on going back to when Luchasaurus won it from Wardlow because for all intents and purposes, Christian has been TNT champion ever since then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Christian has been doing the most consistently good work in all of AEW.
Yeah.
Just exemplary stuff. He's really reinvented himself, a career renaissance, if you will. Oh, yeah. And we're about to see him. I say this all the time.
Yeah,
we're about to see him run laps around Adam Copeland creatively.
Yeah.
Now that they're starting their feud, and it seems like Tony Khan has realized that Christian is doing such good work that he's going to be a cornerstone of AEW programming for the foreseeable future. I gave him an A. Mm-hmm. I think he is the highlight of most shows he is on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his career-defining work, I look forward to inducting him into the Going in Raw Hall of Fame later this year. An A for Christian.
Remains to be seen, but I did give him an A+ for this title reign because it is by far the most interesting thing, the most entertaining thing. Plus, on top of that, again, Christian has always been, in the minds of many, a very underrated pro wrestler, his actual in-ring ability. And so we've actually gotten some really good matches. Mm-hmm. So when you combine phenomenal matches, excellent promo work, excellent character work, elevating everybody he's in there with, I gave him an A+, baby.
That's a good grade. Next up, let's talk a title that's not even sanctioned by AEW, but it's on television. Let's talk about the FTW Championship, currently held by Hook.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you give Hook's second reign as FTW champion.
When I was coming up with these grades, I had to ask you the question: who is the FTW champion right now?
Yeah.
And did he went off Jack Perry? Is that
yes,
what it was?
That's correct.
The glass match. Okay. He's not doing anything with it. I gave him a D.
Yeah, I gave him a C minus.
You're not doing shit with it.
They Remember when Hook had a lot of momentum, and it's like, oh, he could be like a huge part of AEW, and he's just been kind of doing the same thing where he eats chips. That's his character.
Yeah. The character in AEW losing momentum. Shock.
Oh, I know.
Shock horror.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah. No, I know. He could be hot right now. I'm telling you, the kid needs to go to NXT.
I guess so. That's Steve's cure-all, I guess. Next up, let's talk the trios champs, the Acclaimed, and Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
See, it's a bummer. They should have never lost the tag titles.
Yeah, I know.
Because if they had a really long tag title reign, as over as what they were.
Yeah.
We're talking A territory there.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they dropped them. They had a roundabout thing where they had to like Billy Gunn had to find himself.
At the young age
of like 60, had to find himself for that to be the key for them winning the trios titles.
Right.
And it's like, you should be focusing the story on Caster and Bowens rather than Daddy Ass.
Yeah.
And since then, they haven't done much. I appreciate that they're getting involved in MJF's story. I think that can be good stuff, but the problem is that doesn't necessarily involve the trios.
It's not a trios story.
So right now, I gave their rate. I love the Acclaim. I think they're awesome.
I love them too.
This grade is not a reflection on them as professional wrestlers. It's a reflection on the creative involving their titles. I gave it a C+ right now.
Man, that's higher than I gave. I give it a C because they're not doing anything with the trios titles. They gave them really cool looking pink straps.
Yeah.
I like that, but like they're not feuding with they're not feuding with anybody. They're feuding with Caster. They're feuding amongst themselves over Caster's Riz.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about the tag champs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Steve, what do you think about Ricky Starks and Big Bill's reign thus far?
So it's really early. The win itself came out of nowhere, evidently. It was just Bald FTR or FTR Bald saying, it would be really cool if they won the titles in a surprise fashion and then we got to chase them and get them back. I like that it is, to a degree, keeping Ricky Starks strong. I love that Bill Big won a title. I think that's good. Where are the tag titles on my thing? It's a B-. They're a featured act on Collision. They come off as kind of a big deal. It's really early to see if it's going to be like an A-level thing or if it's going to be like, a C-level thing. I think it's still too early. So, yeah, I gave it a B-.
Again, this score is not a reflection on Ricky Starks, who we love, or Big Bill, who we love here.
Yeah, he's great.
The nature of the title change to get to kind of pop interest in the show. Mm-hmm. Ricky Starks was just swung about 1,000 times by Claudio on Collisions. Mm-hmm. Not exactly a showcase for a strong tag champ. Right. You know what I mean?
Good point.
And I just gave him a C.
Okay.
I hope they have a long title reign. I hope they do some really interesting stuff. I really do, because I think they are great.
Yeah, they're great, dude.
It just felt like we're going to try to pop a number here with this title change. It just felt like that, as opposed to, hey, we're really going to get behind Ricky and Bill and push them, or here's an interesting story we can tell.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a solid point. What do you want to go over next?
Let's talk the TBS Championship, currently held by Chris Statlander. She's on TV a lot.
Yeah,
I like that they're giving her more opportunities to showcase who she is as a character. I love when she does squats during her interviews.
That's fun stuff.
With whoever's doing the interview. I think that's fun.
Yeah,
showcasing who she is.
Yeah,
she always puts on really good matches.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I can't think of a singular story thus far in the reign that really is memorable.
Yeah,
which isn't shocking considering we're talking AEW.
Yeah,
I think Statlander's great. I think she's doing the best with what she's been given thus far. She always delivers in the ring. I'm giving her reign thus far a B. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I gave her a B as well. They've given, now I feel kind of bad for giving the tag titles like a B-. It's probably better to be a C+, but whatever. I gave her a solid B. They're doing, it's formulaic, like challenger, but at least like in the case of Julia Hart, they built up Julia Hart pretty strong.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and you know, she did defeat Jade. I know the circumstances behind the scenes. She was on the way out. She did the honors. Wasn't like a big feud or anything like that. But she did beat Jade on the way on Jade's way out. So yeah, a B. That's a solid grade.
Yeah, solid. Let's talk the AEW Women's Championship, currently held by Hikaru Shida. Steve, what grade do you give Shida's reign thus far?
It's really early. She just won it off Saraya in a fashion that I was really surprised by, because they gave Saraya, I think, like one title defense before that. I'm giving it a B- because the way she won it just was underwhelming and surprising, but not in a good way. I think the world of Hikaru Shida. I think she's great. The match with Emi Sakura recently was really so good. But remains to be seen whether or not they're actually going to involve like actual stories, or they're going to go with the Statlander route, which is just like lining up challenger after challenger, in which case she'll probably elevate to a B, because that's all right. But yeah, a B-. Too early to tell whether it's going to be good, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I gave it a C+ for all the reasons you said. Think the world of Hikaru Shida. You know, the first 3-time women's champ. She is phenomenal. The match with Emi was fantastic, but the nature of the title change, as you mentioned, out of nowhere, and not necessarily in a positive way. You know, it's just kind of like a head scratcher variety.
Yeah, right.
No build to it.
Yeah.
And it remains to be seen if they're going to actually tell some interesting stories with Shida as champion. I hope so. Yeah. But given AEW's history, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
We got 2 titles left. Let's talk about the AEW World Championship first.
Yeah.
Of course, MJF is champ. There's a lot of positive I can say about MJF's title reign.
Yeah, same.
And I think, especially the Adam Cole stuff, is some of the best stuff that he's done in AEW.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought there was a lot to like about the Danielson feud, even though the early part of it was a bit uneven. The matches have been he's been putting on phenomenal matches as champion. Yeah. You can't quibble with that. The only kind of thing that I can quibble with his title reign is the fact that he also has to be Ring of Honor tag champion. There's pay-per-views. I think there's been 2 thus far.
Has there been 2 pay-per-views?
But he was All Out, he didn't defend the title, and then Wrestle Dream, he didn't defend the title.
All Out, he didn't defend the title?
Yeah, because he did it All In the week prior.
Oh, he did it the week prior.
And then he defended the title at Grand Slam against Joe rather than Wrestle Dream. And the fact that that's 2 pay-per-views that he didn't defend their world championship on, I think is a bummer. Yeah. Instead, defending, including one match by himself, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. This is like, I think MJF is doing stellar work. Yeah. Fantastic. I'm going to give him an A. Okay. I'm going to give him an A because I think he's been doing really good work. And it's a bummer that his title defenses haven't all been on pay-per-view. That's kind of like, that's like the one knock, is that there's been 2 pay-per-views that he's had to defend the tag titles as opposed to the world title. So I gave him an A-, which is really close to yours, because I sort of view his title reign as like an A in general, but then the fact that at Wrestle Dream was the egregious one, because it was like a handicap match, which was weird, and then the All Out one, you can say it was a pay-per-view, you should have defended it, and I do say that. But he did have Grand Slam, and so it's like there was a title match in that period of time, and he did do All In as well, and so I totally understand where you're coming from. It's very close to what you're doing, but I agree with everything you said. The only knock is the lack of Wrestle Dream, him doing the comedy match. It's basically a comedy match. It was. But otherwise, phenomenal work from MJF, and I think it's been. By far, I think this has been the most entertaining title run since Kenny. Yeah, agreed. I think it's been MJF and Kenny as sort of the top 2 champions in my book for AEW. Totally. One last championship, one we've only seen once on TV, but I think that just shows the prestigious nature of this title. Of course, we're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Deathmatch Championship, currently held and seemingly will be held in perpetuity by Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, right. Who knows if it ever is going to be defended again? Who knows if it needs to be defended again? Obviously, it's the most prestigious title in wrestling right now. It's kind of like, there's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match or a title, and then like down here, the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship. Exactly. Of course, Jeff Jarrett up here, top tier, S tier alone in that tier. So A++. A++. Totally, like 5.0. Yeah, exactly. 5.5, whatever it is. Classes. Valedictorian, no salutatorian. Nope. There we go. Anyways, drop your grades in the comments below.
hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. See you around.
Goodbye.